Hey! Champion Pokemon. So it's pretty common knowledge now that every Pokefan has at least 2 Pokemon that they love above the rest. And I'm here to tell you, that's no different for me. Let's get to the list. Number 10! Lapras! Lapras has always had a special place in my heart ever since I used one on my Soul Silver team. I have a weird quality to me when it comes to picking Pokemon teams, and the quality is just that. I normally plan out my Pokemon teams and sometimes go to the extent of having a full team of 6 before the first gym is even done with. This is a problem for me as it subtracts from the fun of just encountering something in the wild and having an instant connection to it. So why does this anecdote connect back to Lapras? This is a moment in my first English Soul Silver playthrough I will remember forever. I was on spring break in Galveston, Texas for a few days and I had picked up Soul Silver as it had just come out. I was playing through the game with Typhlosion in hand and realized something. I did not have a residential water type on my team. Then it hit me. It was Friday. I could head down to the depths of Union Cave and catch me a Lapras. Needless to say, the rest is history. She was the star of my team, defeating Lance and Claire and surfing me wherever I needed to go. I aptly name her Fairy. Number 9. Pancham! I really don't have much explanation to this thing other than it's a fighting type panda. I mean, look at it! It's so cute! And it even evolves into this mega awesome anti-bullying monstrosity. Sure, I haven't had any experience with Pancham as of yet, but I plan on getting one as soon as possible on my copy of Pokemon Y when it is released come October 12th. Did I mention how hype I am for that game? I don't know if you know this, but it's 3D Pokemon. It's crazy. I'll name my Pancham Champion. Number 8. Gliscor! Boy, do I have a story for this little fella. I had a falling out with Pokemon pretty much right after Diamond and Pearl were released. I played them and enjoyed them, but then the ever-present "Pokemon is stupid for babies" struck me. I had sold all my Pokemon games and left them in the dust. Oddly enough, I fled to Digimon, but I digress. Anyway, I had heard a Platinum version through some random internet browsing one day and heard that it had been coming out in America soon. So, naturally, I decided to give the game one more whirl. Oh, was I glad I did that. I started up the game and picked Piplup as my starter. I played through just with Piplup until I got to Route 206 where I remembered something from an article I had read somewhere. This article was talking about how the game was reintroducing old Pokemon and even giving them new abilities and evolution. And I specifically remember the article saying something about Gligar. I was ecstatic. I always thought Gligar was so cool. I rummaged through the tall grass until it happened. A wild Gligar appeared. I quickly caught it and trained it up to match Piplup's strength. It was the star of my 2-man team. Eventually, Gligar evolved into Gliscor and it became even better. We beat the Elite Four and Champion together, conquered the endgame, and on one eventful rematch against my rival, it happened. Gliscor had hit max level and become my first level 100 Pokemon. I never named this specific Gliscor, but if I had to choose a name now, it'd be Guillotine. Numero 7. Reuniclus. Again, a Pokemon I don't have much of an explanation or a nice anecdote about. I really like the design of this Pokemon, starting with Solosis, then Duosion, and finally Reuniclus. Just a really cute and all-around great Pokemon, and of course it's Psychic type, so that's always plus 10 in my book. I named my Reuniclus Nurse. 6. Umbreon! Here it is. It seems that there's always an evolution on everyone's top 10 lists, if not just an honorable mention. Mine has to be Umbreon. So why is this guy at number 6? Well, I'll tell you. It, like a few others on this list, was a first-time experience to a game mechanic for me. I remember one day finding out that I could evolve my Eevee into a black, sleek Umbreon with just raising its happiness. And then I learned even more. You could give them vitamins to improve their happiness. With this knowledge in hand, I went straight to Veilstone City and bought all of the vitamins I could. Step 2 was to chuck them all at my Eevee, of course. Eventually, I leveled it up once, and BAM! I had a graceful Umbreon. Also, it doesn't hurt to mention that its shiny form is one of the coolest out there. I mean, it's got blue rings instead of gold rings. Oh. For some reason, I never named any of my Umbreons, but if I did today, I would most definitely name one Crescent. 5! Wartortle! So a quick disclaimer before I start talking about this guy. When I say Wartortle, I also mean Squirtle and Blastoise, not just Wartortle. I just like Wartortle the most out of the 3. This guy makes the list mostly just for nostalgia. Pokemon has its ups and downs for me, and Wartortle saved me on one of those downs. I caught wind of Fire Red and Leaf Green coming out one Christmas, so I asked for them. And sure enough, on that fateful morning, I saw 2 boxes under the tree. I quickly ravaged through the boxes, and inside were Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. I started with Leaf Green as I like green over red. Naturally, I picked Squirtle, and the rest is history. Whether it's just plain nostalgia or the fact that I have a real turtle myself, who knows? I named my Wartortle Tom. Number 4. Ralts. Ralts is another one of those, oh boy, psychic type, ah! But this one has more reason on the list than Reuniclus did. That's right, I'm calling myself out. In this case, Gardevoir and Gallade, Ralts' two final evolutions, both have different stories. Gardevoir falls more into the category that Reuniclus does, and is just an awesome looking Pokemon with awesome stats and awesome moves. Gallade, on the other hand, had to prove himself. I don't really like his design all that much, but after being traded a shiny Gallade from a friend, as he knew that I liked Ralts, I noticed its move pool and its great competitive potential. This would introduce me to any sort of high strategy / competitiveness in Pokemon. I gathered up all the TMs, taught them all to Gallade, and bam! I had a great Pokemon with a great move pool. I really don't remember the purpose of this moveset, but I think it was something along the line of Swords Dance, Leaf Blade, and now that I think about it, it's really stupid, seeing as Gallade is part fighting. Gardevoir's name was Melody, and I couldn't name Gallade because he was a traded Pokemon. Number 3! Cyndaquil! Here we are, top 3, and who better to start it off than the Pokemon that has moved around in this list the most. He's gone from 10 to 1 and back to 10 multiple times. The reason being is just that I always loved this little guy, seeing as he was my first starter back in Silver version, but he never had any great qualities to him, other than nostalgia, of course. I really think what boosted him, though, was he was my first non-event personally obtained shiny. Here's the story of that. I decided after discovering soft resetting to grind for shinies that I would try to get a shiny Johto starter from my unused Heart Gold card. I figured I would never get one anyway, and it was just a good way to pass the time. Anyway, I started and was 4 soft resets in when I was beginning to get bored. However, I kept imagining those shiny sparkles exerting from the Pokemon as I went into battle, and it kept me going. Sure enough, 4 more soft resets, and the unthinkable happened. I scrolled through the Wheel of Starters only to find one glorious, amazing, impossible, 1 in 8,192 chance Pokemon, a golden brown Cyndaquil. That's right, after just 8 soft resets, I had gotten a shiny Cyndaquil. I was appalled, and I'm pretty sure it brought a tear to my eye. I named the Cyndaquil Orad, as the bond between us had reminded me of a pet dragon I had used in an MMO years ago by the same name. Number 2. Mewtwo. Okay, this is my one allowed cop-out. Mewtwo is an extremely powerful Pokemon that was genetically created by Team Rocket as a weapon of mass destruction. Crazy, right? I really think Mewtwo is number 2 on my list for a couple of reasons. For one, it's a man-made Pokemon. This has always fascinated me. I love how it captures the resemblance of a super enhanced Mew while still staying true to its destructive, horrifying appearance. And of course, the other reason is because of a Psychic type. And Psychic types are awesome. I could probably also count that it's a powerhouse, is banned from tournaments, and has 2 Mega Evolutions to add to its arsenal of Pokemon X and Y coming out soon. The first Mewtwo I caught was named Clone. Recap! Alright, we're almost there, but first we have to recap. 10. Ferry the Lapras. 9. Champion the Pancham. 8. Guillotine the Gliscor. 7. Nurse the Reuniclus. 6. Crescent the Umbreon. 5. Tom the Wartortle. 4. Melody the Ralts. 3. Orad the Shiny Cyndaquil. And 2. Clone the Mewtwo. Number 1! Lucario. Yes, Lucario. Not a Psychic type, doesn't fit with the other reasons I've given for this list, and doesn't even look like something I would immediately love. There's only one reason that you could have guessed this, and that's being that pretty much all of my channel art and background has Lucario in it. But fear not, you confused ones, as I will explain the story and background behind this anomaly. I love that word, by the way. So some of you may already know, as it's pretty obvious, that Auram is an alias. I chose to use this alias as my parents wanted me to protect my identity since I got an early start on the internet when I was around 8 years old. Most people get their internet aliases from names they came up with as a child, or shortened versions of their real names, or something from a video game. Auram doesn't really fit into any of those categories, other than the last one very vaguely. So, let's break the name down. If you look closely, the name is a combination of one word and a random letter. Aura plus M. So where does Aura come from? Well, Lucario's family. It's a well-known fact that Lucario and Riolu can see and manipulate the aura of everything in the Pokemon world. This was explained heavily in the anime movie Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. This intrigued me. It was like it took the Force. A Pokemon. Whoa. I watched that movie around the time where I had the quest of coming up with an internet alias. I was thinking, and for some unknown reason, the word aura kept popping into my head. Okay, I said, maybe I could work with this, since it's such a fascinating concept to me. I began thinking. It took me just a few minutes to add the M to the end of aura, and it all came together. Auram. This one alias would go on to change my life forever. It's the fine line that separates my internet life from my real life. It's so universal as well. I mentioned earlier that my shiny Cyndaquil was named Orad. Well, as you can tell, Orad is just Aura plus D. Oric and Oris are 2 more examples. The surname I currently use, Alexander, used to be Chaos, but that's a different story for a different video. Lucario's name was never definite. One Lucario could be named just Lucario, one could be Oret, and one could be Auram. So anyway, thanks for watching this video, and don't forget to share it with your friends. I put a lot of work into this video, and would love to hear your guys' top 10 lists as well. And even if you don't want to publicize it to the entire world, still, make the list. I promise you, it will deepen the connections and bonds that you have to these little lines of codes and pixels. Trust me. Anyway, see you guys next time.